Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Hey, this is an update on my tank, how it's doing since about a week and a half ago. I was out of town for a couple days, and then I was extremely busy at work. I had to see my tank in probably about, I want to say it was 5 days. Left, everything was perfectly fine. All my numbers, my water parameter, they were rock solid. It's been that way for months. And I came back, I think it was on a Monday, and I had algae everywhere. My SPS was dying. I just could not believe it. I mean, I lost, bring you over to the frag tank here. If you saw my other videos, this whole rack was full. I lost probably half of my SPS. I have maybe 3 colonies left. Just lost a lot of good stuff. So that was pretty devastating. What did I ended up having to do 120 gallon water change. I wanted to do 50% because I got about 250 gallons of water volume. So you know, when in doubt, do a water change. It's the proven method. It usually takes care of it. There is a risk doing it because, you know, with anything, you know, getting up there at 50% and higher in water changes, you can definitely shock your system. So, but this tank is it's pretty mature, so I figured it can handle it, and it looks like everything's doing fine. It's actually, I can see a lot of stuff is actually looking a little better, but see that big huge Monty plate in the back, that's like 18 inches tall. But it was a really bright purple. Now it's pretty browned out, but hopefully I can bring it back. That bird's nest looks horrible, but hopefully that'll come back. But in my previous video, I was trying to determine what the heck happened, and I was kind of going through everything and trying to pin it down what could have just dumped all those nutrients in there. It wasn't my auto feeder. Because that's the first thing I checked. I have a Neptune, the Neptune auto feeder, whatever you call it. That wasn't an issue, because I never fill that drum up. I only put like a week's worth of food in there, and so there was still food in there when I got back. So I know it didn't dump a whole lot of food in there. But, you know, with all the algae just crazy, just everywhere, I was like, well, it's got to be phosphates. It's got to be something. And I had a ton of Chaeto and Clerpa in my sump. Runs 24 hours a day, the lights. And there's also a small algae scrubber. I'll take you guys down there so you can see it. Well, now it's pretty much cleaned out. There's my Miracle Mud. There's a little bit of Chaeto back in the left corner there. Cleaned off that algae scrubber. So I think I'm just going to do one or the other. I think what happened was maybe the algae scrubber and the Chaeto and Clerpa were competing, and one started dying. My Chaeto on the top was green, but when I started pulling it out underneath, it was all white. It was all dead. And here's all the alive stuff. I don't know if you guys can see that. Here, I'll turn it up so I can get some light in there. But this is a Home Depot 5-gallon bucket, and this is a third of the way full. And if I had all that dead stuff in there, it would probably be about the same amount right here. So I probably should have pruned that before I left. And I think the other culprit was I have been dosing Specticide stump remover. And when I started doing that, I was getting great growth and coloration on my corals, you know, keeping my nitrates about like 2 or 3. But with this tank, if I'm not dosing nitrates, it will consume 1 ppm a day. So I was having to dose pretty much daily. I just hadn't got the time. I have a couple dosers laying around, just haven't had the time to set it up. But I think those 4 or 5 days without dosing, and I cannot remember for the life of me if I dosed before I left. So that Chaeto could have ran out of nitrates and started dying, and just dumped a bunch of nutrients in the system. That's the only thing that I can possibly think of what happened, because calcium was good, 420, alkalinity 8.5, magnesium 1350, everything was fine. So I'm gonna monitor that a little more closely. Oh, look at that pagoda. I don't know if that's gonna come back. I might just pitch that. The whole center's dead. The outside's alive, but yeah, it just sucks. Yeah, look at that Oregon tort. It's done. But lesson learned. Unfortunately, that was a lot of money I threw away. I probably just threw away $1,000 easily in coral, and not to mention all the time and effort that it took to grow. So the Slimer up there is pretty browned out, but it's still got some green polyps on it. Should be able to bring it back. So what I'm hoping to do is stabilize everything. I did put a ton of I had an extra reactor laying around, so I put some GFO in there, so just to try to keep this algae down. And when I was thinking, trying to find the cause, I did notice that I was not getting any coralline algae growth. And when about 2 months ago, I was constantly having to scrape it off, like the back glass there, and then all of a sudden it just stopped growing. So they say when your coralline algae is growing, your tank's healthy, it's thriving. So I gotta get that coralline algae growing again, to outcompete the nuisance algae. So I just did that 120 gallon water change today, and it took me about 5 hours to do, because I did not want to shock my system again. It's already in turmoil. You don't want to stress it out even more. So I did it over about, it was about 4 or 5 hours. 5 trash cans, so like 4 32 gallon trash cans. So hopefully this does the trick. I'm just going to keep an eye on it, kind of let it do its thing, see if I can bring it back. On my last video I posted on there, I had some people comment on there, saying like, that sucks, man. And I've watched the videos of other people going through tank crashes, and it's not a fun thing. And anybody that's in this hobby and they're serious about it, this is what you love to do. And when something like this happens, it's pretty devastating. So, and anybody that knows me, I'm a perfectionist, and when something like this happens, it really sucks. But best thing you can do now is just move forward. And I didn't lose any fish, so I still got all my fish in here, which is good. So lesson learned. If you guys are running fuges, make sure you don't do what I did, and make sure you prune it, take it out, because I'm positive that's what happened. So that was way too much in there. I think almost 5 gallons of Chaeto. So but going forward, I don't know, I might just do the algae scrubber. I ran my 100 gallon with the algae scrubber, and it was thriving. So I might just do it that way, because it's a little easier to clean and keep an eye on. But you know, what a job. It took me 3-4 hours. I was in here with a toothbrush just scraping these rocks, getting all that crap off. The only good thing is that like this algae that was in there is like this brown kind of slime. It was just nasty. It came right off the rocks. I got a really powerful power head, and I just put that power head in there and took a lot of that algae, just swept it right off the rock. So we'll see what happens. I've been working on this thing for like 2 days now, so kind of need a break. I'm on vacation from work, finally get some time off, you know. Really wanted to just enjoy my tank, but you know, now I got to bring it back to life. So yeah, that's probably going to do it for this video. Anything else changes, I'll let you guys know. And you know, feel free to comment, you know, subscribe, tell me what you think, you know, any suggestions. Be much appreciated. So we'll see you guys next time.